It was supposed to be a quiet Christmas Eve. Alice and her son, Daniel, had just moved into their new home, and she was determined to make it the best holiday they had in years. The tree was up, the lights twinkled softly, and the smell of gingerbread filled the air. But something about this house, something about the silence, it felt wrong. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, Daniel grew restless, his small voice breaking the stillness. "Mom, there's something in the walls." Alice chuckled softly, brushing his hair back from his face. "It's just the house settling, nothing to worry about. She's an old girl like me." But the silence deepened as the night wore on. The creaks of the old house grew louder. At first Alice thought it was just the wind, but the scraping, the horrible scraping, sounded too deliberate, too close, and growing closer. She glanced nervously at the hallway, at the door leading into the basement. She had been careful not to go down there. The scraping stopped, then came the footsteps, light, careful, like someone was tiptoeing down the hall, just out of sight. "Mom?" Daniel's voice trembled. Alice's heart skipped a beat. The floorboards beneath their feet began to groan. Something, or someone, was moving upstairs. Heavy, slow, methodical. She grabbed Daniel's hand, her pulse pounding in her ears. "We're gonna go check the house, okay? We're just scaring ourselves silly is all." They crept up the stairs together. The house felt alive now, breathing with them, its walls pulsing with an unsettling energy. Her breath caught when she reached the top of the stairs. A shadow moved across the hall, just out of her line of sight. She reached for the light switch, but before she could flip it, the door at the end of the hall creaked open. "Mom," Daniel whispered again, his voice barely audible. Alice's blood ran cold. She had locked the door earlier. She was sure of it. "Stay here," she told him, her voice shaking. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Something was walking toward them from the dark, faster now. Alice backed up, panic rising in her throat. She turned to run when the door flew open, revealing nothing but emptiness. Then she heard it. The whisper, so faint, so low, it almost sounded like it was coming from inside her own head. The sound of heavy breathing echoed from the walls, and she realized, with horrifying clarity, that she had been wrong. All the house wanted was a family, but the more real they became, the less the house recognized them, until they were merely ghosts haunting it, and it couldn't tell the real horrors apart from the ones it imagined.